Good day, you guys. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to do a talk today about power. It's come up quite a bit in the past, and someone just mentioned to me the other day when I say stepping into your power, she was like, well, my family's done all this to succeed, and this person in my family's done that, and all of this, and they're always going, and they're always striving, and they're always succeeding, and all of this. And I said, wait a minute, is that what you think I mean by stepping into your power? And she's like, well, yeah, like, what do you mean then? And I thought, well, there's a big difference between being successful in the world's eyes and being actually truly successful, really being in your power. So I thought I would explain the difference. Okay. So we've been learning lately that for a very, 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 very long time, we've been programmed to be disempowered by the dark forces. And I'm not even like you guys, I'm not even kidding right now. I am so not even kidding. This is not an exaggeration, and this is not because of the work that I do. This is just true. If you really look into it, it's just true. We've been programmed for a very long time to be disempowered by dark forces, particularly the L word. And in the Luciferian culture, it's basically been trying to get us to believe the opposite of everything that's actually true for a very, very long time. So pretty much whatever our culture says you shouldn't do, or that would be considered a failure, or that would be a bad thing, is pretty much all the good stuff you want, honestly. If they say that it's crazy to be a conspiracy theorist, then you should be a conspiracy theorist. If they say it's crazy to talk to angels and spirit guides, guess what? That was your programming. Start believing in spirit guides and being a healer and things like that. You guys got to start seeing around the traps, the mental traps that they've had you in for so long. And the most powerful thing you can do is to actually be vulnerable. The most powerful thing you can do is actually be present. Because when you're present, not busy, not running around, not putting all your energy to all these different places, it's actually being powerful enough to use the resources available to you, holding hands with God. That means being present in the moment, allowing the God source energy to course through your veins and actually steer you to success, which success can be defined so many different ways. But true success, in my eyes, is the satisfaction of knowing that you're following your intuition. And when you have those moments when you really check your heart and you really take a good look, you're really able to do an honest assessment and see clearly. You're not trying to fix something that can't be fixed from the past anymore. You realize it's just toxic. It's just unhealthy. And it's not working. It's broken. And then choosing a path that you have much more potential in, that your heart is calling you to. You're being called up into empowerment. You're being called into trusting. And that trust makes you feel like vulnerable, It makes you feel real vulnerable because it's uncharted territories. It's unfamiliar. It causes you to change. But when you surrender to truth, when you allow that truth to come in and you see it for what it is, you see the devil come in and say, ooh, your biggest fear. It's not running away from it. It's taking a look at it, having a good cry, and going, all right. And it's like there's something in being able to admit your ultimate truths to yourself. It completely sets you free and liberates you. Then it doesn't even mean that, oh, now we start on a new task. of like making that happen. You know, whatever the conclusion you came to, it's never about go, 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 do. Although, as we've been programmed, those are the people who have success. The ones who have a lot of money, a lot of cars, lots of choices, lots of this, lots of, all of that. Those things will never satisfy you. Those things will never make you happy, ever. I don't care. I don't care how much of it you've got. I don't care how little of it you've got. Like none of that stuff matters. When you're truly in power, you can admit truths to yourself, especially those things that make you feel vulnerable. You can make those perspective shifts. You can have those epiphanies. You're wise. And as you have these epiphanies, they just set you free. They just set you free. And when you're free, you see clearly. And when you see clearly, you automatically go toward that which will bring you fulfillment and joy, help you to feel like, wow, yeah, this is truly authentic for me. This is the life I've always wanted, to be real, to be authentic, to feel loved genuinely by somebody who loves you back genuinely. Nobody's faking each other out. Nobody's playing games with each other's heads. Nobody's trying to hurt somebody so that the other one will hurt them back and they can prove how much they love each other. That's not love. That's very unhealthy. Just very unhealthy. So true stepping into your power is being able to even really just searching for and I have known some very, very powerful, influential, very successful, rich, wealthy, incredible people who are empowered and those that are not. The ones that are empowered are the ones that people are going to for advice. They are respected. When you walk in their office, it's like, whoa, there's just a feeling of like, oh man, every word out of their mouth. Like they don't just spout stuff off. They reserve their words. They've saved their words till just the right moment. And it's few words, but those words impact you. It makes a difference. When you step in their office, even for a moment, you're going to come out of there changed somehow. Those are the real powerful people. And it's not about their money or their status. They could be a janitor. You walk in the janitor closet and you ask if you can borrow a broom. And the guy turns around to you with all this power and says, blah, 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 this incredible truth, or just the lightest little thing. And he may not even be looking at you. He's still getting his bucket ready and everything. And he says something just right to where you're like, oh, that's true. And that's power. His power led to your power, because the moment you had that realization, you're like, whoa, and guess what? You're changed. It's allowing yourself to be changed, allowing yourself to get past your insecurities and set boundaries, to be knowing what is good for you, knowing what is calling to you in any given moment, and being brave enough to do it. Being brave enough to step outside of what you're used to, stepping outside your comfort zone in every way, shape, and form. And it's saying, I love me. And I'm not listening to any other voices. I'm not listening to any other opinions. I'm not listening to anything. I'm not giving into all these responsibilities that others are putting on me. I'm not going to be deciding based on whether I'm going to hurt somebody or not, because that could manipulate you. Being swayed by other people's feelings is the most disempowering thing, or being swayed by other people's, what they're putting on you. You should do this, you should do that, you should da 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 da. And but you promised this and you promised that, and guilt trips and all that stuff that you know full well is total manipulation. If you're allowing yourself to just get manipulated by everybody around you, that is not power. That is not power. That is you just bowing down and getting beaten. That's all that is. Also, Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the feminine side as well as the masculine side. Like for feminines, a lot of times it means not really caring what your masculine's doing. Like taking care of yourself completely and just being like, you can be over there learning your life lessons all you want. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to love me. I'm not going to sit around waiting for you to make me happy. You know what I mean? Nobody else can make you happy anyway. So some of you are kind of disillusioned thinking somewhere in the future, I'm going to achieve this or have that or have him or have her. And all of a sudden everything's going to be better. That's not being in your power either. Because you have to be the one who provides for you. You have to be your very best friend. You need to become that voice in your head. You need to be your biggest cheerleader. You think about a moment when you inspired the doo-doo out of somebody and you were their biggest cheerleader, maybe even made them cry because you finally believed in them. That's the voice you need to be for you. You need to allow yourself to crash down and you need to be the one that pulls yourself back up again. So don't be expecting anybody else or anything in the future or any amount of money or a nice house or any of that stuff to make you happy. Otherwise, you're disempowered. And you're running around like a hamster on a wheel trying to achieve, and everything. I mean, not only will that not make you happy to have all these things, trust me. I've been there, I've done that. I know people who've also been there and done that a million times over, you guys. This is how I've gained my wisdom. Things do not bring you peace. They do not bring you happiness. You can fake it. You can pretend that it does for a little while, and it looks good on the outsiders are all like, oh, because they've been programmed also. They've been programmed also to think that all the things that are really bad for you are actually really good for you. Again, everything is opposite right now. We're about to realize that in the next month or so. But you guys got to snap out of it. You got to snap out of it because being in the moment, listening to your intuition, even praying for the truth in all things. Thank you so much for showing me the truth in all things. Thank you so much for all the incredible epiphanies and realizations that I'm having that make me feel empowered to go live the life of my dreams. That's the stuff you need to be saying to yourselves. And at the same time, being happy with what you've got. Having a very accurate description of where you're at, like being able to really evaluate yourself from a very honest standpoint about where you're at and showing appreciation for where you're at, being happy with what you have in the sense that you're grateful for all the things in your life that are going really well. And you have an anticipation in this moment for the future, but it's more of a, oh, I can't wait. It's not actually knowing all the stuff and knowing when it's going to happen, how it's going to roll out, any of that. I can't wait. It's just being right here, right now. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I just know that I'm bringing beautiful things into my life because I'm making decisions based on my love for myself. If I love me, what am I going to do here? If I love me, who am I going to listen to? Really think about that for a moment. Let these words sit. Sometimes we listen to someone and we get all enthralled and we might even agree and everything, but then you shut the video off and it's gone. So I want you to think for a moment. Are you truly happy? Are you truly happy and satisfied and content with the way things are in your life right now? If there's a decision that you need to make to be most genuine to yourself, most authentic, then make that decision. If you keep waiting for something in the future to happen to make you happy, drop that. Drop the future. The future and the past have never existed. That's another way the Luciferians have tried to convince you that if you think about it, the news is always about the past and the future, always. And they've done that on purpose. They've been programming us for years to fall for the big scam that is today. It's all been building up to this, you guys. This has been a plan for a very, very, very long time that's been folding out, unfolding before our eyes, and it's coming to a climax right now. But this was all planned a really long time ago. So it's time to see things how they really are. It's time to step into your power. You do what's right for you. If there needs to be a change that needs to be made, then you better make the change. If not, you're just going to draw out the suffering for that much longer. That's as plain as it and simple as it gets. Learn to assert your boundaries. Learn to say no. Learn to say this is no longer my responsibility because I choose for it not to be my responsibility. Who made it my responsibility? Who says I have to do it? Nobody but you. You are the master of your own life. You know, you do not have to be a slave anymore, you guys. Slaves no more. Don't be a slave to waiting for your masculine for something to happen in the future. Don't, all that. That's just be happy now. Just be happy now and make brave and bold decisions to do things outside your comfort zone because you know that they're calling you. Admit the truth to yourself. Really take a good look and quit running away from your feelings. It's so like we get so scared we most of the time even do it subconsciously. So being self-aware is another key to being in self-empowerment, to be stepping into your power. You guys can comment below if you have other things to add to this in terms of stepping into your power, like I'm talking about with your authenticity. And of course, they don't want us rising in our power. They don't want us realizing who we are and what we're capable of. They want us to keep convincing ourselves of what they've been trying to teach us all the time. If you want to stay stuck there, go ahead. But if you want to see something really incredible, miraculous start unfolding in your life, you got to be willing to take a leap of faith. You got to be willing to do something different. And you got to be willing to admit things to yourself. And like I said, like where I was going to say, a lot, in my younger years, I was really afraid of admitting certain truths to myself. Man, I'd fight truth and hell. No, I'm right. This is the way, and you just like your ego just fights and fights and fights. And all of a sudden you find somebody very, very loving and compassionate who gets you to break open and you're just like, and you have a good cry and you're like, yeah, this is how I feel. And then you're like, oh, poof, gone. And all of a sudden the chains come off and you no longer even have that on you anymore. And it doesn't even come back. It's gone. And it's so refreshing. And you're just like, why wasn't I living life this way why the hell did my ego trick me all this time? Like it would be scary as hell to admit truths to myself. It becomes really ridiculous. And the more moments you have like that, the more you start hungering for that. The more you're like, give me more of that. I want to admit another truth that makes me sob. I want to admit another thing that makes me, heal. That's what that is. That's healing. Admitting things to yourself. The things of the past need to be put to rest. And if you have to say, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. Whatever it is your worst fear is that you could say to yourself right now, think of what that is. What would be the very worst thing you could possibly admit to yourself right now? And just admit it. Say it out loud right now. I'm a failure. I'm a bad mom. I'm a bad dad. I'm a bad, whatever it is, say it. And then see how that sits with you and reach for the truth in it. If you know how to do Baron Katie's work, it will free you if you put that to paper, if you take the time to actually sort that out with yourself. Or you could do the exercise, thank you, God, for my misery. Write that down. Thank you, God, that I'm a total failure at my life right now. And then you go through and you list 10 to 15 advantages or benefits as to why that is so perfect. Why is that so perfect that you're a failure? And you will start to see things differently, and you will start to see that the things that you think were bad things that were happening to you, or that have happened to you, or somehow that's made you, I don't know, weaker or a loser or not worthy of, or whatever BS you know your ego has been trying to trick you into believing. You're going to see that there was a divine plan in it after all. There was a reason that you've gone through all the stuff that you've gone through after all. You're not doomed to live an unhappy life. Just choose more positive thoughts. That's the other one. You can only cause suffering from the thoughts that you're telling yourself. I talked to a feminine who, I talked to many of you actually who do this. She thought that maybe he was doing something. And for like the whole next day, she like cried all day. And the good thing is that she had some epiphanies in that. That's the good stuff. But she was, very, 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 very upset. Very, very upset about what he could be up to or what he could be doing. And I said, you suffered all day, an entire day, because you chose those thoughts. You chose to tell yourself things that made you very sad and that made you feel desperate and hopeless and all of that stuff, right? If she had had amnesia and couldn't even think that it was possible that he could do whatever that was, she would have had a great day. Most likely kept on believing and kept on, having a good day, or having at least a typical day. So, or if she would, and does it matter that no, not at all, because they're doing whatever they're doing and they're learning their life lessons from it. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't even matter at all, because whatever they're having over there is having something to do with their personal growth and them learning to step into their power. You will be given misery after misery after misery after misery after misery after misery from your own thoughts until you start catching on to breaking free from the Luciferian beliefs and what they've been programmed us to do all this time. And you finally go, I get it. I am in charge of my thoughts. I am in charge of whether I suffer or I feel powerful. I am in charge of whether I'm a lion or a lamb. I am. Not that person. 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 Nobody but your own thoughts. This person could say, but they did this and they did that, and you could just not even hear it, not even choose to hear it at all. Or you could put a total positive spin on it and be like, yeah, so whatever. You guys know people you've done that to, where you've been like so upset and like you were trying to get them mad, and they were just like, I'm not going to be mad about that. I'm just not going to be mad about that, because they love themselves enough to choose a higher vibration and a different story. It's not that they're delusional. It's not that, necessarily, depending on the situation, but because people can be in denial and do that too. But I'm talking about like when you honestly choose a better thought, when you honestly choose to believe the best, not out of running away or being fearful, but you truly are saying, I don't have enough information to know if that's even a fact. So I'm not going to bother myself or torture myself and put myself through pain over it. You know what I mean? So become the master of your thoughts. Don't even listen to or entertain anything that takes you off your center, off your alignment, out of your alignment. This is where the power is created. Vulnerability, being on top of your thoughts, seeing success differently. Success is the fulfillment and satisfaction of your heart by following what you truly love and want to do. That's as simple as it is, and staying in the moment. Staying holding hands with God as much as you can. We can't stay present all the time, or we can, but we'll become enlightened if we do that. But be there as often as you can and catch yourself as often as you can. And none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. So admit when you feel like you're not perfect, and then get back up on the horse again. And, we will all compare ourselves to others at some point. But being in your true power also means that you can stop doing that. Because comparison with others is endless. There's no possible end to it. You will always, everybody is unique. Everybody is different. So even if it's like a streak in your hair and someone else has it or doesn't have it, you'll compare yourself with that streak. Oh, but they have freckles. That makes them special somehow. It's like, so I hope this helps. I hope this helps clarify. Are you happy with yourself? Are you truly loving yourself? Are you willing to admit these harder things? And then have a good laugh and be over it and heal from it. And make healthier choices. Take a risk. Do something brave and bold. Let it all go. Let go of your future. I'm just going to go toward what I'm called to. Period. And not letting anything or anybody interfere with it or get in your way whatsoever. That's power. Step into it, you guys. If you're not there, step into it. And if you need help, come to me. I'll be able to help you get there. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later.
If you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and share them with your friends. Also, feel free to join me at patreon.com/Amy Satori, where I post monthly energy readings, pick a decks, and other goodies for members only, including discounts for readings and being entered to win a free reading at the end of the year. Memberships start as low as $5.55 a month. Sometimes I even put my free collective love readings on Patreon first before uploading them here to YouTube. You can check the description of my videos for the most up-to-date information.